Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the film wrap up. I'm the film fiend himself, and I'm with my boy like always.
Yo, it's the rap nerd, the real rap nerd. You hear me? What's good, Phil?
Oh shit! Updated name. If you ain't know, now you know. It's no longer the rap nerd J Soul. It's the real rap nerd. That's your fire though. It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give you a props for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a wordsmith. You know what I mean? That was like my past life, but it still works for me now.
I know you keep saying it's your past life, but I know you getting that itchy finger, dog. I know you get
You said itchy finger.
yeah, like to write and record and all that.
Oh, I recorded something the other day.
Yeah, but you want I know you want to drop some eventually.
I do, but it's kind of like nobody cares, man. So that's kind of what keeps me from dropping it. So
You never know. It might be that one person. It's gonna be like a studio, like an executive that randomly listens to some shit.
I mean, you're
Boom.
right. Because this shit I just did was
Listen. But yeah, we've been trying to get this podcast popping for a while, but life happens because me and this dude we've been dying, absolutely dying to talk about Nope, Jordan Peele's latest entry. And boy, let's get straight to it because we're gonna be tackling Nope. We're gonna be getting some Comic Con because so much news came out of Comic Con. DC, Marvel, John Wick, Games of Thrones, everybody and their mama was there. But we got to start off with the start of the show, and Nope. Let me know, brother, what you think about it. What's your thoughts?
first thing I'm gonna say is Jordan Peele. Man crafted a banger, man. Like absolute, um, so much so. And I told you this. I was like, I saw some dude jump out the window, and I said this in my review. He was saying like, "Oh, when are we gonna put Jordan Peele as the best horror director of all time?" I think that's wild right now to say that because he only had 3 films. But if he keeps producing films on this level, like if he keeps crafting movies, like he needs a good he needs like a good 3 in my opinion more that are on this level to be in that conversation of the best. But
Yeah.
what he did with this shit here, phenomenal, yo. Like, nope. This is literally battling my second favorite movie of the year, honestly. Because right now
Fact.
my top two are the Batman and X. You know how I feel about X. I love that damn movie.
Hmm.
But Nope is at number 3 for me. I wasn't willing to put it at 2 quite yet because I still need some time to think about it. But like Jordan, to me for this movie, I feel like he's definitely understanding what he wants to do in the horror genre, and he's doing it like amazingly. Out of the 3, this movie actually scared the shit. I mean, there's a few moments in this movie that had me like, pretty much saying no, just like he intended. There's a good bit of scenes that not only had me creeped out, but also jump scares that had me almost about to jump through the roof. Um, so, like I said, this is a legitimately a scary movie, and you got to have one of those as a horror director.
Hmm.
I think the characterization in this film is fantastic, and that's just another check mark for him because, like, not only does he direct these movies, but he writes them. Like, being a writer and a director for the film is a huge deal. Like for me personally, that's like extra check by your name. The greats do that. You know what I mean? So character dynamic was great. The story in itself was great. I feel like he mastered being able to make something with layers, but it's not so heavy-handed that if you don't understand the layers, it takes away from the film. Cinematography, beautiful. The VFX were fantastic. Um, I guess it's my overall. I love this shit. Like this is great cast, great score. Um, I'll just say that overall, like loved it before we get into it. But man, incredible film, man, incredible, like, honestly. So what about you though?
I couldn't agree more, bro. I was absolutely blown away with this film, and I came. in there a little pessimistic because us I'm not gonna lie, it left a sour taste in my mouth. Especially, I rewatched the films recently, getting prepared for Nope in this podcast, and
Hmm.
I'm to the point where I'm pretty sure I consider Get I mean Us as a bad movie. Like I'm at that point. I'm not even teetering between maybe like whew, man. But anyways, but as
Whoa,
far as
hold on,
Nope,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
what happened?
We got to pump the brakes. Hold on.
Okay.
You said you had to point to call it a bad movie?
I'm at the point. I'm very close. Like whew. The only reason I'm not calling it a bad movie is because of the director and the cast, which is pretty fire.
Okay, so without, I guess, why do you think it's a bad movie? And I'm not here to refute. I'm not saying that. I'm just curious as to what put you to this point because we've had conversations about the movie, and
Mhm.
we both kind of had the idea, like, it's not the greatest, but you watching
That
it
was
recently.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you watching it recently, I
Mhm.
haven't really talked to you about Us. So to hear you say that,
Mhm.
why are you there with it?
Yeah, watching Us, I feel like he swung like for a home run, and he striked out every single time. Like he had all these big grand ideas that, quite frankly, it didn't make any sense. Like I was watching this film, I'm like, how does that make sense? Like with all the whole thing with the tethered and stuff like that, none of it made logical sense, and not even and I'm not even talking about real world stuff. I'm talking about what the movie itself is explaining to you. And everything was like from the get go, you're like, okay, that obviously this, obviously that. And watching Get Out and Us, I whew, especially with Us, I'm not a fan of how Jordan Peele writes or used to write his dialogue. Like I felt like there'll be situations that happen, but the characters won't uh, act like they should in a particular situation and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I feel like he also writes these characters in the oddest, like example when the daughter, the track star, right? Her
Hmm.
the evil version of her comes out and she's on top of the car and stuff like that. And the dude is screaming, "Hey, you! Like, get off my car!" and stuff like that. Like you see her, and then she turns it at you, and she clearly has a scissor in front of your hand, in front of you, but you're still like engaging and you're walking towards them and then you get killed. I'm like situation like that, like it doesn't make logical sense in my opinion. And that story was just it was like I respect the attempt. That's why I don't like it would be one thing if he was phoning it in and stuff like that. He really tried, but nah, bro. Nah, I could just poke so many holes in that movie as a whole. But when it comes to Note, man, this movie was spectacular, bro. Absolutely spectacular. And I was very upset like before coming to this movie because I think we spoke about it. Because like trailers give too much, and I didn't even watch the trailer, but I kept hearing always confirmed UFO, aliens, this and the third. I'm like, damn, man, that would have been a nice surprise to go in. This is what I was thinking before watching it, and then I watched the movie like, oh, this ain't UFOs at all. Like the premise of this
Spoiler alert,
alien.
people! If you haven't
Yeah, I
seen
have.
Us, get the hell out of here because this is flat out like spoilers. Just heads up, man.
Yeah, it says it right there, no spoiler review. So if you don't
But
know
you gotta
now,
say it because people will be
true.
like, "But you didn't tell me," even though it says it right there. So
Like it's a complete humongous plot twist. Like something that
yeah.
we think is just a typical UFO alien story, and that's what I love about the very first trailer. It cut it so well that you thought it was aliens itself. Like you saw the Paul Poundfish and the other character, it looked like an alien's paw, but when you see the movie, you're like, okay, they shot it in a certain way to make you think that, but the fact that the UFO is not that, it's a beast in itself from a different. I'm like, bro, this is ingenious. Like I said, like this is his version of Jaws, which is absolutely frightening because back in the day, Jaws is one of the most scariest films because how tangible it felt. Like you're taking something
Mhm.
about like shark attacks, but here it's
A whole different level.
oddly, yeah, like who is to say that that's not what we like people believe in UFOs and stuff. How you know that's not one of that? That was absolutely terrifying. And I love how it's not just the spectacle of the beasts in the sky, UFOs and stuff like that. It's the messages that he's trying to tell in the movie itself. Like people will do anything for the limelight and stuff like that. Social media being the it's pretty much a drug nowadays. Like
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
in it for the clicks and stuff like that. Like perfect example, the TMZ dude. Like this dude fell off a bike, broken leg, can't even walk. All he's worrying about, where's my camera? Take the shot. Take the. I'm like, damn, this shit is realistic. And
Hmm.
yeah, I loved, and also I love the dynamic between Kiki Palmer's character and Daniel Kaluuya, bro. They were polar opposites, and they played so well um, against each other, and how the relationship developed from when you first introduced it to them. Like Daniel was getting extremely irritated with her character and stuff like that,
Hmm.
to like that final scene, bro. Woo! And that horse,
Oh my God, bro.
dog.
Almost eyes watering up, bro. When she just,
What? Oh my god!
I was like,
And it's how he shot
oh.
that scene too. Like it's not just one little, and that was it. He focused on Daniel's face the whole time, and he did it. Oh, I'm like, bruh. And each time he did it, it was more aggressive, like letting you know I got you, bro. And they already
Hmm.
planted the seeds earlier. When he did that, I forgot what was the concept of that. I believe like she had a horse or something that her dad didn't have faith in her. Something in that nature,
Yeah,
bro.
her she used to look at her dad and her brother do the
Hmm.
horse ranches, and her dad never looked at her, but he always turned to her and was like,
Yep.
I, and I was just like, oh my God, like,
Selflessness, and I love like I love how his titles are so simplistic. Get Out, Us, Nope, but I love how they always used in the film and how they're being used. Like in Get Out, it's in that party when Lakeith's character, they take the camera shot and he's yelling out "Get out!" And Us, it's when they first meet the evil, the evil ones, and they're like, "Oh, they look like us." And they always put emphasis on that word, and Nope was just thrown out throughout the whole movie. Like whenever
hmm.
they seen that thing in the sky, Nope, especially Daniel's character, Nope, like that is hilarious, bro. I love the use of it, but yeah, this film is spectacular, bro. This is I said it multiple times. This is Jordan Peele's most complete film in my opinion, man. From
I agree.
beginning to end, like
I agree.
I feel like the situation these characters were put in made was plausible. Like the dialogue was like me when I'm watching a film that has choppy or not the best dialogue. I'm on the edge of my seat. It feels like like the nails are clawing against the board and stuff like that. Here, I was just relaxed and I was just enjoying it. Like everything was like well put together. And I saw an interview with him where he said it. Do you know the whole reasoning behind Nope, like why he made it in the first place?
No, I don't think I
Yeah,
do. I don't think,
suppose he wrote this during the height of COVID, like when it
yeah, I did.
first. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said he wanted a spectacle when because I believe theaters were in jeopardy. I remember like a year or two when everybody thought the theaters were going. He said he wanted to make a spectacle that everybody, the majority of people, had to go and watch. That's why this is so different from his first two films. Like you see Get Out, you see Us. They're eerily similar because of the psychological thriller aspect of them, but this right here is just a grand sci-fi epic, bro. And yeah, man, to see like to see how his craft evolves from the first film, Get Out, like you could see also it's a spectacular movie, but you could see some rookie mistakes here. That boy, like he was seasoned. 5 years, he's seasoned, man. And I'm getting long winded right now, but I'm gonna let you, jump back in if you have anything else to say.
Yeah, piggyback off of you. I want to hear your thoughts first because you already know. Everybody who knows me knows I'm the horror enthusiast, so I can just keep going and going. So I'd love to hear what you have to say from your
Mhm.
perspective first, and I like to piggyback off of it. We talk about this genre period, but you're just going off some things that you said. Like I think the twist of what the UFO is just makes it
Mhm.
scarier, in my opinion. Just the idea of like you know, this flying saucer thing that we see, and we always think it's like a ship or somebody in it. No, this is the actual alien itself, and I feel like and it's like I've never ever thought about that. And what makes it so scary is that it relates back to Gordy, the monkey,
Mhm.
how animals, wild animals specifically, in this world are unpredictable. You
Mhm.
know, they don't move by certain patterns that we think that they move by. Like you can train a wild animal all you want to, but you always hear these stories about a tiger on set cutting the shit out of somebody or an animal going crazy. And just the idea that a flying saucer is an actual animal and it can do the same shit is even scarier. Like it literally takes away all of the method to the madness. Because when you think about UFOs, you're like, oh, they're trying to probe us. They want to take our resources. They want to, you know, inhabit our planet, or they want to turn people into aliens. Blah blah blah. But when you take all of that out of it, and it's just an animal just looking to feed, that just makes the shit even more scary. Like you said, that's what makes Jaws so scary. It's a shark. They don't give a fuck about none of the shit that humans care about. They just see us and see food, and it's extremely scary to know that a UFO does that. They just want food. Like at any moment, if they wanted to, they could fly above your house and just rip your ass up if they felt like it, and that is fucking terrifying. And not to mention again the direction by Jordan. The direction makes it even more scary because every time they show this beast in the sky, it's always one take. Like you'll be on the ground with a character on his shoulder or her shoulder or whatever, and they'll look up and the camera just sit there and just follow it while the person's in the shot. And just makes it feel that much more realistic and like scary. Like one of the scariest scenes involving the UFO was when Daniel, Kaluuya's character he goes to the actual theme park and he sees that everybody's been sucked up, and he's sitting there looking at the horse, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's looking up and seeing this craft fly around, and you see it from a distance, and then you see that mug make its way forward closer to him, and it just ends up. It literally just shows up in front of him. Like that's fucking terrifying. Like I did not expect that to happen, and that's why I say I think to your point about this movie being the most complete film he's made, it checks every box where other ones didn't check. Like Get Out, writing's good, great concept, um, it's intriguing, but I don't know about you, but Get Out didn't scare me that much. Did
Yeah,
it scare you?
the concept scared me because of him. Listen, but
Yeah,
as far as like scares and no, it didn't.
yes, I'm saying like the concept is terrifying, but
Mhm.
there's no moment in Get Out where I'm literally like, oh shit, like I don't have that moment. Even in Us, I think Us the same way. Like I said, on the flip side of that, I think Us is a lot more ambitious in its ideas than Get Out,
Yeah.
but it's not as structured, and it does have moments of scares in it. And then you get to this, and you get to know, and it has all of that. Like it has the scares. It's cleverly written. It's a great concept. That's also scary. Real scares here. Cinematography is great, and it's all around like just amazing horror film. And you really can see like the craft. Um, what is it? Not escalate. You can see the craft elevate
Mhm.
from Jordan in this movie. You see them, like you say, you see the mistakes that he made, and they're not here.
Yeah.
Um, it just all around fantastic film, man. And the layers, like you were speaking about, the need for clout. Um, I think that's definitely always stated because we live in a world where clout is the new form of money. People people will prefer attention over bread, and this is a representation of that. Like when I think his name is OJ, right? That's the name of his character, Daniel Kaluuya's character.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
OJ. Like when the first scene when he's at night and he's in a stable and he sees the kids dressed up as aliens, right?
Whew.
Which fucking scary scene, bro.
That
Like,
first shot when,
oh,
because he did the same thing in Us as well. Well, he blends, or I don't know if he blurs the imagery to the point that you don't realize there's actually something there, and it just slowly gets up, and then you're like, oh shit, there was something there that whole time. Because he did that
yeah.
with Us with Lupita's character, when the kid was running backwards into the fire, and then you see her come out of the like out of focus, out of nowhere. That shot right here was just terrifying. I legit
Nah,
thought it was real aliens for a second.
me too. Like when that scene happened, literally, I was like,
Mhm.
my heart started pumping, and then you see the other one come out the door, like lean his head over, like
What?
I was like, oh. But talking about that scene, right? You even see him, and OJ's like, nope, he's about to turn away and run,
Mhm.
but he turns back and pulls his phone out, you know. And I feel like that just speaks to where chasing clout can get you, because logic will tell you to get the fuck out of there. Like he
Yep.
even says it, no, and he turns to run, but he's like, hold up, I gotta get the shot.
Yep.
And it's shit like that that people do. Like you see on top all the time on social media, people get killed for trying to get the shot.
Mhm.
Um, People get themselves in bad situations for trying to capture it on camera. So I just love how there's a lot of that throughout the movie. And again, real world terrifying, man. Like the fucking Gordy scene,
Yep.
absolutely terrifying. And like honestly, the relationship between Gordy and Jupe and how it affected Jupe, that should be studied and just like broken down in itself, because I think there's a lot going on with that relationship. But again, fantastic movie, man. I want to go see it again. Honestly,
Yeah, and I loved how Jordan wrote each individual character. I'm gonna start off with Daniel's character. Like in the beginning, it's not even a spoiler because it's in the second trailer. When the pops died with the things falling from the sky and stuff, which was a wild scene. I'm glad I didn't watch the second trailer. For them to put that, pretty much put the whole scene in that trailer, I'm like, what are you doing? But experiencing like that, I was like, oh shit. And but then it puts him, because his dad runs the ranch, like he's the head honcho and all of that, and he's the side character, or like he, you know, tagging along with his pops, but putting him in the star, like in front of the lights and stuff like that, when he's on set and he's trying to explain it, and you see his shy demeanor and stuff like that, low spoken, stumbling over his words because he's out of his comfort zone. But to his core, his character is an animal trainer. Like he knows these animals in and out. Like he's telling producers, everybody on set, stay away from the animal. They'll get agitated and stuff like that. But in the beginning, he's a very shy, put off character. But gradually, you see him when he gets into his element. Like when they realize, and it's actually him that realized it's a beast. It's like an animal because of how the movement and all that.
yeah, I
But
love
like
that.
loved it too. But also I love how his character evolved when he's in his element. Like he's describing to everybody, all right, this is how you handle a predator. You got to do this, you got to do that, which is complete opposite from the beginning. But then later in the scene, he's like, he's up. He's his presence is commanding. Like his voice is very stern. He's pinpointing everything, like because he's in his comfort zone, his element. Like you see his his involvement. I'm like, yo, this is brilliant character writing. Like Kiki
Mm-hmm.
Palmer's character, when you first
Mm-hmm.
introduced to her, like she's pretty much she's about the money. Like it was her idea in the first place. She kind of played her brother, and her brother fell into it with the old bro thing and all of that, and like getting the shot. But once she realized, yo, this is for real. Like this thing is for real. Like all that went out the window. All she cared
Yeah.
about was her and her family's safety. Like 'cause before, like she was like all about the money and all of that. She didn't care about it. But you see her character evolve. I'm like, yo, these characters are phenomenal. especially I forgot his name, the dude that worked in the store as well. Like the first time I'm introduced him, like he seems like an asshole and stuff like that. All these characters were individually handled together, and when you mesh them together, it just that's what I'm saying. Like this is his most complete film. Like absolute wonderful job. And let's talk
Yeah,
about the scares though, because
the characterization, man, like that can make or break a
phenomenal.
movie.
Hmm.
Depending on how many characters are in there. Because I mean, that's one reason I love X so much because the characterization is fucking good with a group of people.
Excellent.
Same thing here. Like the characterization between these four characters are so good, and you don't even really get backstory from you don't get a massive amount of backstory from all of them.
Hmm.
But it's just the way that the dialogue is written. You understand each character and the
Yeah.
kind of person they are. So I'm like, fuck it, it's just great. Though. But you said the scares though. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the scares. I said I had my quick little out of theater review, and I said some of these scenes in here were nightmare inducing. And I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just saying that just for the hype or whatever to get people excited. I meant that to the core. Like, and it's actually it's actually three scenes in particular that like really, I'm like, holy shit. First off, I'm gonna set it up a little bit. The very first shot, after you see Gordy, and crazy scene in itself, and especially because you're not 100% sure what led up to it. But then you're
Yeah, that opening
introduced to
scene,
this.
holy sh!
But right after you're introduced to, it looks like this opening. And you're like, yo, what the hell is that? Because I was thinking like, what the hell? It keeps opening and then closing, opening and closing. You're like, what is that? And then later on, when you realize it's not a UFO, it's a beast, and it just comes around and sucks up things it wants to eat. You realize that's the inside of the beast itself from the opening shot. I'm like, holy shit, that's terrifying. But that's not the scary part. It's that scene when they're in the amusement park with and, and I forgot his character. Um damn. The
Ju-
owner of yeah, the owner of the is that his name of the
yeah, Jupiter, yeah, isn't there?
yeah, yeah, there it is. Like he thinks he knows this, UFO, this beast, and he's gonna sacrifice the horse and stuff like that. Nah, he came and ate every single person in that in that amusement park, and also it cuts to the scene when they're inside his body being digested. I'm like, holy shit, how frightening is that? And you see, they show you the dead horse before the skeletal remains of it. I'm like, yo, this shot. Imagine like you're inside something's stomach, getting ready to be digested, and then it cuts to like a little later on. It cuts to the home of Kiki's character and Daniel's character, and it's looking like to attack some more, and it's hovering in front of it, and you hear the screams of everybody inside this beast's stomach. Like I'm like, bro, if this ain't like bone chilling, I don't know what is. Just that concept is just flying around, and you're hearing 120 to 30 people just screaming for their lives while being digested, and then the ultimate shot when it just stops in front of the on top of the house and it rains blood. I'm like, holy shit, sheesh.
Yeah.
Like it's coming down like a rainstorm, and you just see all the frightening, dog. Absolutely frightening.
No, I was gonna say that as being scary too because in the scary, like I said, it's the retroactive process about it, because while it's happening, you don't, well, you do kind of realize it, but like you said, it's a shot when it shows like it's like a shot like this big, and you see people getting like sucked up, and it shows a close up of a lady's face, and she's like got like
Yeah.
liquid on her, and she's just like screaming, and then and if you look, I don't know if you probably caught it, but if you look, the next shot it actually shows like the mouth of the thing,
Yep.
like as she's getting sucked up to it. And I was just like, man, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? Like,
Yo.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, again, it's the ideology of like, it's one thing to get, sucked up into a ship and they just kind of probe you and they're looking at stuff. It's a whole other thing for them to suck you up and you getting your ass ate. That's a whole different thing. So, yeah, I agree. That scene is scary. Um, the scene of the kids dressed up as aliens is
Yep.
still that shit like terrifying me. Like,
Excellent
because
shot.
if I saw that, even if it was humans doing that shit, that's still not something I would want to see.
Yep.
Um, and that jump scare, the ultimate jump scare that got me so much was the praying mantis in the camera. Like, man, that shit had me like, they literally almost jumped out of my damn seat. Dead
Mm.
ass. That part's scary. There's another part. What was it? It's a part when OJ is running at night and the camera is like looking at him from below, and
Mm.
you see him running, and you just see the damn UFO like in the clouds, like following him. Man, that shit like,
That concept is ridiculous. It hides within the clouds during the day. So, oh my God. Yo, this
like
concept was ingenious in my opinion. I understand. I think like it's getting mixed reviews because I think people like came in here expecting something totally different from a Jordan Peele, but man, I thoroughly, thoroughly
man, them
enjoyed this
niggas
film.
is tripping. I don't care what nobody says. Them niggas is tripping. Like they tripping big time. This is one of the like this is some other shit.
I
Like I
was
said,
floored,
the
completely
creativity
floored.
in the writing of crafting the story to me is
Mhm.
what has me so blown away. I'm like, how the fuck you sit down and think about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if a UFO was an animal, and what if it used a cloud to hide itself and it just travels around eating people?
Mhm.
Like, what?
Crazy. What I also like and I love about this film, which I feel a lot of films in this genre fail to do, it's the stakes of this film. I legit
Yeah,
felt like character died at any moment, especially Daniel's character, because he was put in some because he's always outside, like, and he risked his life because he deals with animals and he's like, you make eye contact, you'll be good. Like, now let's say that didn't work though. Then what? You get what I'm saying? Like, because we saw it attack them. Like when you're talking about that scene after everybody gets swallowed up, and he's going to get the horse. It actually came to get him as well. But luckily, he was in the. I believe it was in the barn. I forgot where it is. And while it
yeah,
was sucking it up, he got saved. There's multiple like chances that he almost got taken, especially when he's in the car when he's going back to the. I'm like, bro, like every single one of them felt like they could like be taken at any moment, and it really sets it off with a Jupiter's character, like which I thought would be saved. Like he was all confident, like yeah, I know how to deal with this guy, this and the third, and then just like that, gone, bro. Love this film,
yeah.
absolutely
I
love
didn't I
this
did not
film.
expect his ass to get taken right then. I was like, holy shit! It's funny because as soon as it was, I forgot. That's why I want to watch it again because there was something that happened when he was talking about, he had a horse and something.
Mm.
I think it was like a cut scene of somebody saying something. I think it might have been when OJ was telling them like he thinks it's an animal because it was like kind of cutting them back and forth between Jupiter trying to feed the thing the horse and
Mm.
Daniel was talking about it. And when he said something, I was like, oh shit. This thing is going to take all of the motherfuckers. And when it came through and sucked everybody up, like you said, look,
Absolutely.
I like
And that scene
this.
alone, though, that caught me completely off guard. 'Cause I'm like, okay, it's really gonna comply with him. Like they have a report, and you see throughout the scene, they set throughout the movie, they set it up that he'll eat these horses and stuff like that. That boy wasn't worried about the horses at all. And what's even scarier, they take time to show. and there's kids in the audience and all of that good stuff. I'm like, God damn, bro.
And the horse is still there. It's just like,
Yo, for real. It ignored that and went completely for everything else. Crazy. Absolute bananas, man.
oh man.
This film gets my stamp of approval 100%.
Oh yeah, like this is a Blu-ray cop instantly. Like when that shit hits Blu-ray, it will be in my collection. Dead ass.
Yeah. Do you have any closing statements that you want to say regarding this film?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I think we discussed all the things I loved about it. I can't wait to rewatch it again to pick up on a lot of the layers that are there because there's definitely some shit under here that like should be discussed. But I just want to rewatch it again to piece it all together because I think I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure. But fantastic movie, man.
Yeah.
Especially in my genre, my favorite genre, kicking ass this year.
I mean, like technically, this is sci-fi. If you want to be,
Man, this shit horror, man. Like
I'm just saying, like when you look at
motherfuckers
this
was
film,
getting eaten and killed.
like that happens in sci-fi as well. I'm like,
Yeah, but it's a sci-fi horror, so you got to put my genre in there too.
I mean, like, isn't sci-fi?
Listen, you're not about to take away. You ain't about to. No.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. You know. But yeah, that in itself, man. Like he swung big. And he learned from his what some would perceive as mistakes in previous films, and he like Jordan Peele, like he's here to stay. He's here to stay, in my opinion. Like he evolves with even us. I think it's a felt attempt for the most part, but just going for it is grand in itself, man. So yeah, I can't wait for his next feature film, man. Yeah, killing it, absolutely killing it.
Real.
Yeah.
Kill that shit.
Yep. And next up, it's unavoidable. This weekend was Comic Con. I think it was the first Comic Con in a couple years with everything being shut down. And
Yeah, it was.
boy, was there a lot of news coming out of it. Yeah, first and foremost, I think we should. I'll go on this one. We got to talk about because the first thing I saw out of Comic Con that really caught my interest, besides the House of the Dragon thing, was that John Wick, bro. That John Wick trailer. Because me, I personally thought making a fourth John Wick film was possibly a wrong decision. But who was I wrong? A minute long, not even a full out, it's more of a teaser. Was it able to like let you know exactly what you're in store for the whole film? Perfectly. From Donnie Yen to Bill Skarsgård's character, they introduced new characters that felt, from what we've seen, fit perfectly into that world, and like this type of genre that John Wick is playing with, because it's action, but it's to the extreme, to say the least. But like in that type of genre could easily, in my opinion, be felt like it's going over the top. You're doing too much, but somehow they're able to always reel it in to the. It's like a rubber band. They stretch it out all the way to the end, but it all feels like it still works. It's not way over the top like Fast and the Furious franchise, bro. Like after seven, even some of seven, you're like,
I mean,
enough is enough. But here, this looks like more of the same, but in the best way possible, bro. Like,
it's the direction, man.
yeah, it
It's,
really
it's
is.
all the direction because I mean, while they do take it to its furthest extent of what you can do physically, with them doing everything practically, you just have no choice but to take it realistically. Because like I said, there's like the shot with Donnie Yen and Wick fighting, shooting, and blocking the bullets with swords. But like I said, it's all captured in frame. Like everything you see, it's not a bunch of fucking cuts to hide shit. Like the only CGI and effects added to that scene are the gunfire bursts and some of the clinging from the swords, but they're actually really doing all that stuff. So I think when you capture stuff in such a realistic way and you stick to that, you can make it just look phenomenal. I think that's the one thing that John Wick has been able to do that other action franchises haven't. Like a lot of other action franchises haven't. You know what I'm saying? So just speak to your point about that.
Yeah, but also because yeah, being shot is one thing. Because I've seen some, you know, action scenes that were shot well, but the film overall is just man. But it's just everything that's on paper for John Wick should not work as well that it should work, especially after the first film, which sets a particular tone that the second and third film have pretty much gone away from and made something completely different, and it still works. It's not. You're not tired of it yet, in my opinion. And I'm just going off a minute trailer just looked absolutely spectacular, in my opinion. And I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic for that movie.
No, you're right. It does look great. I'm the same way. Like I said, I guess it's for me personally. I just think the direction is what makes it continues to make these movies good because I think you can make these movies in a cheap ass way, and that's what separates this from other films. They don't skim and cut corners the way that I've seen other filmmakers do in the action genre, to where it just doesn't feel or look as good. Period. Even with the writing, introducing having so much world building without having so much world building within little time. It's like you're given an expansion of the world in every single movie, and not just the dialogue, but the set design. Like when they show scenes of those girls, those women in you know that room with the books and they're stamping shit, sending it out. Like just small little things like that help expand the world to be like, oh, this is like some whole underground, worldwide shit. And I think they do that fantastically without it being heavy-handed and too much. Uh, but I mean, all in all, ain't showing no future point at all because this movie's fucking. It's gonna be great. I don't. I'm good money. I'm sold on John Wick 4. Like, I didn't even need a cheeser. Like, I hope they don't give shit else. Just like that's it. I'm sold.
I agree 1,000%. Yeah. So next to Comic Con, let's just get straight into it. DC. They were before they came out before Marvel. What you think of the panel?
You said what?
What do you think of the panel and what DC showed everybody, like Shazam, Black Adam, and stuff like that?
What you mean stuff like that? What else do they have?
They had those two stuff.
Huh?
They had those two films. What do you
But
think
you
of them?
said Shazam, Black Adam, and stuff like that. Like, what's
Yeah,
the stuff like that?
just in general, like stuff like that, like that they showed.
So, so I guess you got DC, and I guess that stands for just two movies that they ran, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. A little disappointed. I'll be real. I mean, what they did bring was good. I thought the Shazam trailer was pretty cool. Um, it definitely you could definitely tell it's a sequel to the first one.
Mhm.
I thought it was good. It didn't blow me away, or I wasn't expecting it to blow me away. But I don't really know what I was expecting. But I didn't even do a reaction to it because I didn't really know what to say about it. I thought it was cool. Um, Black Adam new teaser was dope too. Um, but yeah, it was cool. What do you think?
Yeah, I like what I saw as far as Shazam goes. I feel like if you like the first Shazam film, there should be no. I'm going off the trailer alone, but there should be no reason that you don't like the newer one. It seems very similar in tone. It just seems like David said, they got a bigger budget and they spent it all. And yeah, it's just grander. You're dealing with Daughters of Atlas and stuff like that. You have Lucy Liu in there, Helen Mirren. I think her. Yeah, and it's just it looks grander. You got the whole Shazam family there. It looks extremely fun. I loved what I seen as far as Yeah, Shazam. The Shazam franchise is what it is. It's a particular tone, and it's extremely fun. So I enjoyed it. But as far as the Black Adam teaser goes, oh my God, was that shit fire? It it elevated everything from the first trailer that we saw with this little. I believe it was also like a minute trailer as well. Like the what I really took from it is the tone that we got from the trailer. It seems yeah, it's a lot more serious, but it seems like I don't know, The Rock is in his element in all the right ways. Like, cause he it's The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, they play their same characters all the time, which is not a negative because they do it so well and it ends up working. But it seems like The Rock is really he's putting some effort as far as his acting, like he's in character, like 100%. And I feel the Black Adam persona through what I've seen so far. But Doctor Fate, woo, epic, absolute epic. Doctor Fate is one of the strongest characters in DC, and I can't wait to finally see because everybody loves Doctor Strange and all that good stuff, but Doctor Fate is where it's at, and the little battle at the end between Hawkman and Black Adam looked cool. So it got my excitement. It did its job as the trailer. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get me more excited for the film, and they did exactly that. But the first trailer ended with some weird shot where he caught a bomb and it just exploded. Like that was a very anticlimactic ending for a trailer. But this one right here, with him going against, it seems like he's going against the whole Justice League of Society and stuff like that. And I'm with it. I'm with it because they keep playing up how he's an anti-hero and all this good stuff. I want to see it because I heard about this first Suicide Squad. What was it, 2016? Oh, the bad guys do good and stuff like that. There was no bad guys in that movie, bro. They were all good. I want to see Black Adam do some bad. So from what I see, I'm loving it. They I wouldn't say they completely ease my mind as far as it goes, but all right, I'm willing to give it a really good opportunity, and everything I've seen so far, not a negative from my standpoint. That's what I feel about those. Yeah, it was a little weak as far as like, we're about to talk about Marvel, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about Marvel for quite some time because they actually brought stuff. They brought these two, then we brought the films that are releasing this year. So yeah, it is what it is. And next up, we will be talking about Marvel's panel. What you think about it?
Oh, Marvel did what they're supposed to do, unlike DC. Um, to be honest, that was some bullshit DC did. I mean, two films, like, I'm sorry. Like, it was cool, but you should have just stayed home and waited for DC fandom. But Marvel did what they were supposed to do. I mean, I guess too, when you have like a plan, you can do that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
I don't really know what DC's doing. You got a Flash movie that's supposed to reboot the universe, and I don't know. So anyway, with Marvel, this is Marvel is the reason why we were supposed to do this podcast Saturday, and Marvel is the reason why we pushed it back to today because we knew that they were going to come with some shit, and boy, did they come with a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. A whole new slate for Phase 5 and 6. They even titled the next phase the Multiverse Saga, which is exciting. Um, they announced Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, Avengers, the next Avengers movie, Secret War, like Fantastic Four, Daredevil is back, Blade is coming. What else what else happened?
Thunderbolt. They
Thunder,
did,
yeah, Thunder. Matter of
uh,
fact, I got the thing right here.
Guardians 3, Ant Man, what is it, Quantumania, the Marvels, yeah, the whole new thing, the whole new
Loki season 2,
you know,
Captain America 4, New World Order, like Secret Invasions, like This is
Wakanda
a
forever. Everything.
Wakanda forever, bro. Listen, we spoken about this movie, right?
Mhm.
Beginning of the year, we both were kind of like in the air with it. I can't speak for you, but Black Panther 2 was literally like my least, maybe not least, but it was low down there as far as like, my hype level because I just didn't know what they were going to do. Like Chadwick Boseman passed. Like, how are you going to do this movie without him? Is it going to be, it's just a lot of stuff coming with it.
Mhm.
But that teaser that they dropped, total 180 personally, man, hit me in the feels. Like, hit me all the way in the feels. I was crying. I was bawling watching that. Bawling. I was crying watching that damn teaser with the amount of respect that they paid Chadwick Boseman and showing that mural of him, up there. It was just
Yeah.
you could just feel the spirit of Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther 2, and you feel the weight of his passing. As a person, what the character as a person, you feel you get that sense of respect and again, Ryan Coogler we trust. We know this is Ryan Coogler, but it was such a huge thing to happen that I didn't know. But this trailer, man, and then outside of just the homage to Chadwick, it just looks like a fantastic movie. You have the rising of Namor taking
Mhm.
the Wakandans to war. He floods Wakanda. Um, the cinematography looks beautiful. I know that score is gonna slap because the first score and the score in the first movie slapped very very hard. Um, yeah, yeah, man. I'm thinking about that demo Wakanda trailer, dog. Yeah, I gotta say, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Just
Marvel absolutely snapped, and you could tell they were still holding back, which was absolutely insane. They announced a bunch of stuff, gave it release dates, movies, TV shows, and yeah, they Thunderbolts is a thing. The Marvels actually, after seeing Miss Marvel, definitely my interest is way up there now. Let me see what else. What else? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. James Gunn coming back. Like he did a great job with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Like I believe Guardians 3 will be good. Loki 2. Like I'm looking at all of this. Damn near everything on here piques my interest. The only thing is the Agatha thing. I'm not 100% sure why that's a thing, but besides that, everything in here has my interest. Echo is like, but but even though that I'm about it, you have Daredevil and what you call it, and Kingpin in there as well, which is fantastic. Ironheart, definitely my excitement went up more after seeing the Wakanda Forever trailer, seeing her in there as well, creating her suit, bro. Like I'm looking at this, like they didn't have to do all this, but they came back. Comic Con has been gone down for the longest, and they've been secretive as far as what exactly is up next, and they just laid it all out, bro. Like I'm ecstatic. Fantastic Four, bro. Finally gonna get, I believe, out of any property that the MCU has ever touched or done, Fantastic Four is the most like the tone that they've been trying to achieve through all these 30 films. What I mean by that, like that lighthearted, that family aspect, like that grand scope that you like, it's all there with Fantastic Four, and I can't wait. That's probably like one of my most excited films because I feel Feige's had a plan for this film for the longest, and he's gonna knock it out the park. And what else? What else? Yeah, man, I'm thrilled. And two Avenger films in 1 year. Two Avenger films in 1 year. That's you saying that out loud is a wild concept, bro. And the the Dynasty being directed by Daniel Cretton from Shang-Chi. That's how you win somebody over, bro. This list is absolutely spectacular. Daredevil I'm surprised. Daredevil really surprised me because Disney Plus has a formula already. It's what, a little over a year, and it has a formula. It's 6 episodes, and you know what you're gonna get. But 18 episodes, ah, bruh, Netflix doesn't even do stuff like that. 18 episodes, that's insanity. And the Born Again storyline is absolute epicness. So if they're that gives me hope that they're actually gonna follow through with the storyline. And obviously it's not gonna be as dark. You know what? Let me not say obviously it's not gonna be as dark because I'm seeing this strategy that they've been doing with their Disney Plus, where they're introducing more mature content. Not theirs, but like they have Logan in there now, and I forgot what else. So maybe there's a chance that this one could be a little more edgier than the
Hope
other
so.
films. Yeah, so Daredevil is just like Kevin Feige's smart. He understands the success the first three seasons have, so he knows you pretty much can't fail, or you're gonna get crucified. They're Marvel. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna brown, but I'm pretty sure nobody wants to fandom to be irate and stuff like that. Blade, bro, Blade. Like I'm looking throughout all these films and stuff. Like this looks fantastic. Even Ant-Man and the Wasp, you're dealing with with Kang as your main villain, and I'm reading the descriptions of the trailer. Like, come on, bro.
That's what I'm saying. This shit is nuts, man. Like when you really look at this slate and just like break down everything, like
Absolutely.
these ain't little nigga like movies and TV shows. I mean, there's certain things in here that are like small things like Echo or
Mhm.
whatever, but overall, this is some huge shit, man. Like,
I agree.
and you didn't see it because I know you don't like seeing shit, but I ain't gonna lie, man. I found a bootleg of the footage that they showed off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Whew, that's a banger incoming. Like, if they keep that same teaser but just work on the VFX, or because Gunn said they didn't release it because the VFX aren't where he would want them to be at, but I think it's gonna blow some folks away. I was kind of blown away. I didn't originally comment on this because it's not officially out, so excuse me. But holy moly, bro!
Okay, well that's interesting. I didn't know about that. But
Like tear jerking, like
yeah, hearing the title of like the multiverse saga, I thought multiverse was pretty much done after what was it, No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. I thought those were just a niche little thing they're gonna do and they're gonna focus on something different. But hearing it's a whole saga, just like the Infinity, that piqued my interest, bro. I'm curious. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do, and yeah, Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, crazy.
see, that's what makes me excited about the multiverse saga because Secret Wars is in there. I'm
Mhm.
wondering, are they going to go for the 2015 Secret Wars where it's like the incursion, and then the fact
Mhm.
that they already introduced the incursion in Multiverse of Madness? I'm like, are we going to get Battle World with Doom? Like,
Nah,
is like,
like Doom plays a critical part in both those stories. If I'm
yeah,
yeah. And what's
because
also funny about that, the film right before these two is Fantastic Four. So it can't be a coincidence. I'm just saying, it can't be a coincidence. Like these dudes are extremely calculated and stuff like that, and fire. And
Because rumor is
Mhm.
in Wakanda Forever, Namor's beef with Wakanda is being puppeted by Doctor Doom.
I can see that. I can see that.
Like I swear to God, if there's a post-credit scene, it's a dark room, and we see that green hood.
I could almost more than guarantee you gonna see something of that nature. Darian says we all know everything on that slate will happen too. Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, man. Blade. I'm intrigued with Blade. I want to see or the Blade. Well, it doesn't say the Blade on it. Just says Blade, right? On
Yeah,
that.
just his blade. Thank God
Yo,
that
for
wasn't
real.
true.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali, bro. He's one of the
The blade.
best working actors there. So I just want to see the tone of this film. I want to see how it looks. I just want to see the story. Like my hype. Like you did a fantastic job with the choice of Blade, but obviously I saved the best for last. Wakanda Forever, bro. Uh, Lord. Um, what a trailer, man. Sheesh. As far as I didn't know what to expect for the trailer because I didn't know what to expect for the movie. Like, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Like, his passing happened right before they were getting ready to. They didn't even start shooting. I think Ryan Coogler said he was in the process of writing some amazing uh, dialogue for Chadwick's character and stuff like that, and they had to pivot and do a complete 180 with limited time because I don't think the start date pushed back. I think it only pushed when Letitia Wright got injured and the mess that she was going through. So there was very limited time there for him to actually get Wakanda or Black Panther, whatever it's being called, to go. So I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like Ryan Coogler. He's one of the best directors working in my opinion. He's had yet to miss, and he's done all these different type of films. So I had faith that in that aspect. I'm like, there's only so much that you could do. I think even you put Christopher Nolan in that situation, and still, I feel like he would struggle. And that trailer exceeded everything and then some. It took a movie that I was interested in. Obviously, I'm going to watch, and I was hoping the best. So being now one of my most anticipated movies for the rest of the year because it just looked absolutely fantastic. Um, all the way from it's how it's shot. It reminds me a lot of Eternals, and I'm comparing it to Eternals. Well, because Eternals was everything was on set on not on set on site. Like it was real
Hmm.
shots, little bit of CGI green screen and all that stuff, and you could feel the same way as well from the opening shot with Lupita's character walking in, and you see it tilts and you see the ocean or whatever. I'm like, that's not a green screen. That's legit. And the camera, like how everything in there was just with care, bro. And then the acting, you could tell the Chadwick being gone elevated everybody. They know what time it is. Like they have no choice. Like it's not even a pop maybe. Like but to greatness. I could tell everybody's acting chops is gonna be the best of their career. Ryan is not playing. Because this film looks nothing like Black Panther. Absolutely fantastic. Like I was blown away, bro. Absolutely blown away. And I'm not 100% sure what the story is itself, man. It's just the song choice, everything. Like seeing the mural of Chadwick, bro. That yeah, that right there, and then Angela Bassett's delivery, that fucking line, man. Holy shit. Yes, she's acting, but whoo, you can hear it in her tone. You good. That's not just a line that she's reading. Like she felt that. Because I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure playing Chadwick's mother, like yeah, like they bonded. You know, like they definitely were close, and she meant that with every fiber of her being, man. Loved it, man. Absolutely beautiful film. It got my film trailer. My excitement is through the roof. Namor is in the MCU, and he looks epic.
Hmm.
Man, I'm ecstatic. The little shot at the end of the new Black Panther, whoever that might be, which is interesting because the attire of the Black Panther is closer to Killmonger than it
Yeah,
is to Black Panther, which I found interesting. But it could also be CGI trickery because they do that. They don't
Marvel's
want
good
to
for that. Yeah,
exactly.
Marvel
So
is definitely good for that.
yeah, man. They stole the show. They absolutely Wakanda Forever stole the show. It was magnificent. Like all, it seemed like Ryan Coogler, because he's a fan of this comic book stuff. I remember he just got announced for Black Panther the first time, and he was like on stage. When they had that big reveal in that Comic Con like 2016 or 15, whatever. And
Hmm.
I believe it was Zack Snyder was introducing Justice League, and he was in Hall H with the crowd watching Justice League, the trailer. That's how like he about it. He heard the like biggest criticism a lot of people have about Black Panther is the third act. The CGI was terrible. He took that's what everybody said. The CGI certain aspects were bad, but I don't think it was as bad as some people say. But you could tell that he was like, nah, it's not happening again, especially with what's on the line, bro. This phenomenal, absolutely
Hmm.
phenomenal, man. And it's epic, epic in every sense of the word. And Marvel shut it down, man. Marvel shut it down, bro.
Just shut it down is an understatement, man. Like they came with a schedule for the next like 5 years. Like that shit's crazy to me. Like,
Word.
with all the gripes that Marvel does get, you know, from the film world and people, like you can't deny that the meticulous planning isn't something in itself to have. It's just been plotted out so much in this, and we're going on 10 plus years now because what Iron Man came out in '08.
14 years this year.
Yeah, like we're about to go on year 15 of the MCU still running
Yeah,
and still being a well-oiled machine. Like
losing any steam.
that shit is crazy. Like people, this whole thing about, oh, we're losing superhero fatigue. But I'm like, I feel like with Phase 4, well, I know it's a mixed bag for a lot of people. I think that them taking different swings are what also kept the interest up. You know what I'm saying? Like you got movies like Eternals that don't follow the same type of
At all.
uh, um you know factory created
Shang-Chi.
films. Yeah, Shang-Chi's another one. No Way Home just, I mean, broke barriers. I mean, they had all three Spider-Mans in the fucking movie. Like that's that's some other shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They brought back Sam Raimi to do a Marvel movie, regardless of if you didn't like it or not. We never seen that, in a movie. Um, had the Illuminati in it from a different universe in the
Yeah.
movie. Um, we got a new Captain America, Sam Wilson. Like there's so many bold swings that did happen that are going to be the stepping stone for this next phase. It's just like you can't count Marvel out, bro. Like
Yeah,
at this point, they can do anything. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes it that much more. I mean, just the fact that Kang is the next big bad, and they cast John Majors to be the Kang, one of the best actors of, like right now, like any black, like you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, you know, I'm strapped in for the roller coaster ride, bro.
I'm completely sold. Everything here is fantastic. And what's weird and what's crazy is they're doing all this while having their two pillars of the MCU, Cap and Iron Man, gone. They're not even losing any footing. That's crazy. That's crazy. While DC also don't have any. Never mind. But
No. Let's not say never mind. DC doesn't even know who the fuck Superman is. Like,
Hey man, and Harry, yeah, yeah,
did you hear what The Rock said?
yeah, I heard that. I heard.
Well, Black Adam fights Superman. Well, no, is Black Adam stronger than Superman? Well, that all depends on who's playing him. Like,
Yep, yep.
DC fan, we're here suffering.
What's the name?
like, like we just want a Superman movie, but and no disrespect to whatever's going on, Blue Beetle, Batgirl, that's all cool. But why do we not have another Superman solo that everyone's been asking for? Where's Green Lantern? Like do we just forget that they exist?
I'm gonna give them until what is it, DC fandom this year. David's finally taken over. He's cleaning house. He supposedly is trying, fix and right the ship. So I'm gonna see
Why is
how
Old
DC
Man
fandom
Keaton
look.
the Batman of the DCEU?
That was before David, so we'll see if it's still that. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and
I mean,
see.
I definitely understand where you're coming from. Wanting to wait and see because I'm trying to hold back my stuff myself too. But it just gets to a point where it's just like what are we doing, man? Like I just don't get it. Like we've had two Superman cameos, and we don't even know who the fuck he is. He was in Shazam, had his head cut off. He was in the Suicide Squad. He was just in the shadows. Like your most iconic character, you're hiding, and he's nowhere to be seen. Like if you don't want, like, and keep in mind, like I'm a dude that I'm like, I love Henry Cavill, and I would love to see him back, but if you don't want him to be there, just recast, please, and let us know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the rumors and the rumor mill don't make it no worse. Talking about when the Flash hit, Supergirl and Batgirl are going to be the pieces in this universe, and there's no Superman or Batman. It's just like
I don't think that's gonna. I'm telling you, David. Yeah, he sees how ludicrous some of this is. Uh, I don't believe it.
I'm I'm really hoping, you know, that the ship gets right. Like I don't like I don't really care. Like I'm not biased to picking actors or whatever it is. I just want the characters to shine, and I want that. I want the same level of like respect and angst for the DC characters because I mean this is a universe that's like fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like I just want to see it done right. Like I'm just glad they got the old people out of the old regime out of here because I feel like the old regime are the ones that like literally fucked everything up, honestly.
Mhm.
And I don't mean when I say fucked up, I don't mean from the standpoint of like, oh, they should have listened to Zach. That's not what I mean at all. I don't think that, because they had an opportunity to right the ship when they made Justice League. Because if you remember, when that movie came out, it got it was, the reviews were still mixed, but people were more acceptable to that version of Justice League, right?
Mhm.
Aquaman released and it made $1 billion. That point right there is when they could have springboarded DC and rebuilt the universe how they wanted to. All they had to do was make a Superman solo, um, finally put the Flash movie out, make a Green Lantern movie.
Mhm.
Had they done those three things to like, because what the problem is, they just jump ship to trying to use secondary characters when their main characters aren't even established, and that's the problem. You know, nothing against Shazam, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is one of my favorites, but I'm just like, why do we have a Birds of Prey film before a Green Lantern one? Like, just doesn't really make sense to me. But That's my little rant for DC. I just want them to get it together structurally because it's really just like embarrassing as a fan of both, and just to see how one-sided it is. It's just ridiculous.
Agents said they just released the Green Lantern animated movie the other day.
I mean, that's true, but I don't.
Marvel Con. Yeah, it pretty much was Marvel Con.
I want to see John Stewart. That's like what if like the nigga exists, dog. Like everybody wants to talk about
Oh,
like.
we're gonna get John Stewart. I'm pretty sure we'll get John
I mean,
Stewart.
we need to though. I mean, everybody want to talk about diversity. I'm like, you got like
Secondary characters are cheaper to produce and they're not going to be high budget. Like, I definitely agree, but I feel like secondary characters, just like how Peacemaker was on HBO Max, that's the perfect playing field for them. If it happens to pop, then go to Marvel route and give them their own film afterwards. But I
but
feel like
see, okay. I was gonna say that point. Like, I do agree, but I mean, I think like with your flagship characters, that you can make that that money back. Honestly, because I mean, you look at like a movie like what's the movie? Like you look at Shazam, right? Secondary character, right?
mhm,
It was made for cheap, but I mean, how much did it make? What was the box office for that?
300.
Yeah, three. So it was 300 on $100 million budget, right?
Mhm.
It's not an awful payback, but it sure as hell is not that great. Honestly, like it's spending 100 to get 300 back is not what they shoot for. I mean, at that point they probably broke even, or maybe made a little bit of paper.
Yeah.
But I see Asia said they'll be scared to spend money. I definitely agree that they're scared to spend the money. Like
Yeah,
spend the money, man.
I think with David, they're gonna be more like pinpointed on exactly what they're gonna spend money on, and like like before he came on, they had Wonder Twins in production. He came in,
Dumb
he
shit
X'd
like
that.
that.
He
Dumb
X'd it.
shit.
That's why I say like I have faith in him. He came in, and he was like, why are we making this for X amount of? I mean, he knows like it's obvious. Your breadwinners, Batman. Look at that, doing great right now, and Superman. Get Superman off the ground. You establish those characters, and you're golden. And once your universe and your main characters are established, go ahead introduce second tier characters. The Shazam film, I think, was done a little bit too early with the universe in flux, not knowing exactly what you're gonna do. Yeah, but I feel like DC fandom is their last chance to reassure the audience that they have a plan. In my opinion, like I
Because
feel
that's
like
the issue. Like you said, reassure the audience. Like you don't like for instance, like the Suicide Squad, right? There's no reason why that movie should have made what it made, dog. Like there's no reason why. Um, and it just comes from poor planning. Honestly, that shit should not have been on HBO Max for one. Um, a movie that cost $185 million. This should not have been on HBO. That was a bad call, honestly. And it's just bad call after bad call. Like, yeah, I just wanted to say that, man. Like, they haven't ensured the audience on what they're doing, and when there's no plan. We live in a world where comic book movies are built off of the bigger picture, and there's nothing there for fans to latch on to. Because most regular fans, that's what they care about. They're not like you and I who just want to go see something that's a fantastic film.
I'm gonna show up. Like that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. So I definitely show up, but you're not. I'm not the people they're targeting. They're targeting the general audience, general public. And Shazam, agent says Shazam made 366 and 100. That's breaking even. I feel like damn near exactly. But I believe it's like one third or something in that nature. 366. That's yeah, that's decent. But that's pre-pandemic. So and to be honest, I don't know if Fury of the God's gonna make any more than that than 366. If yeah, I don't know if the pre-pandemic movie made that. Sheesh. So I don't know. And that's a good question. Agent says, do you think the Batman 2 will suffer in any way under new leadership because he feels like they could alter Reed's plan if they want to switch, if they want to, which could be troublesome. Nah, I don't think so because I believe Batman succeeded. It made you know how much Batman was made for? I don't.
I think it might have been 200 because when COVID, it was less at first, but when
Mhm,
COVID happened, they had to switch to like shooting it in the studio
mhm.
and getting those LED screens. I think it kicked the budget up um, an extra 100 because they had to reset up. But let me look. I think that's what it was though.
Yeah, so I don't think the new leadership's gonna alter the Batman because it was financially and critically acclaimed. Like critics liked it in comparison to previous DC films, and it made almost I think it made like $770 million. That's not chump change. That's the most a DC film has made in quite some time, and I feel like Reeves carved out his universe with a plan in mind. He wanted a trilogy, and yeah, I think
Oh,
David those are the type of films that David is looking for. Because I believe when he first came, he kept bigging up the Joker and the Batman. So yeah, he definitely good with that.
it said the Batman was 185
Yeah. Okay.
according to Forbes.
Mhm.
So 770 on a 185 budget is that's that's pretty that's pretty gangbusters right there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's not. It didn't make the billing like everybody's calling it a failure, which is a little ridiculous in my opinion. But 77 in my opinion for a film that's not connected to a larger universe, it's pretty much a standalone film. That's and the first you're introducing a new Batman that some people criticize the actor for being picked as Batman in the role. So that's pretty respectful in my opinion, man.
Oh yeah, I think it is too. 700, 770. And especially considering what a lot of the first Batman movies made.
He also says, which makes him think that they might try to make that the main Batman version force too many extra things into it, like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I feel like pre-Regine would have done that, pre David, because they were just trying to throw a lot. Like look at what you call it, Justice League, the one that Josh Whedon did. There's just some mixed bags of nonsense. But I feel like you can't really do that with the Batman because Reeves in the center of it. I think he has like a concrete idea of what he wants to do. In my opinion, so yeah, I feel yeah he's gonna play. They're gonna let him play alone in his sandbox and stuff like that, and create a nice trilogy, and then that'll be it. It's gonna be the Dark Knight with Christopher Nolan getting ready to do his own little trilogy, and that's it. And they're gonna introduce a main. They're definitely gonna introduce a main Batman now to the universe because it makes no sense to not have a Batman in that universe.
And then Reeves is not for that shit either. I, I'll just say I've learned some information recently that um, learned some information about Reeves recently, and I don't think that they'll be able to do that. I don't think they'll be able to make Spider-Man the kind of way he operates, and
Mhm.
yeah, because I'll just say that they tried to make him do some things on the Batman, but
Yeah, they could try. Darian said they released Shazam at the wrong time between Captain Marvel and Endgame. I don't think so because there was a lot of space in between that. It was not like it was not like I don't think Endgame was like within months or Captain Marvel. They had their own space. It's just that Shazam is it's a lower tier character that besides comic book heads didn't really know about. Yeah, nobody came to see it. I think it's that
yeah, I mean
simple
the
as
interest
that.
in there. When the interest ain't there, people aren't going to put their behind their seats. That's just what it is.
Yep. And I am wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt, man. Thank you for asking. What else? What else? That's pretty much it for Comic Con, man. Little side
No,
of
no, no.
DC.
Marvel Con.
Yeah, more like the wife said, Marvel Con. So, like she said, yeah. Next up, let's discuss what have we been like, what have we watched, what have we listened to, and stuff of that nature. And
Oh shit.
yeah, man.
You go first because I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first, but it's gonna be very short because I've just been on YouTube making YouTube videos, and now I think I only watch.
Motherfucker, this motherfucker been cranking out 6 videos an hour. I look up, it says, you subscribe to Film Fiends. He uploaded 7 videos. I'm like, what?
Bro, literally, that's the only way to be with that algorithm, bro. If you ain't active, they're gonna spit you out. You really, so hey, but yeah, I think I only since the last podcast in here, besides Nope, I only watched one film, and it's one film that I've been dying to watch for like
Damn,
7 years
get
now.
fucking.
I watched The Invitation with
Oh.
Logan Ray Marshall, and oh my God, did it live up to expectations, bro? I've been hearing about this
Mm,
film for so long. Excellent film. Excellent
mm-hmm.
film. It was predictable, but predictable in all the best ways possible,
I was
in
about to
my
say, yeah.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we like I think pretty much I'm not special. I pretty think everybody saw certain aspects, things were happening, but just how it was handled was excellent. Like making it seem like the main character, I forgot what his name is, but Logan's character, like he was losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought was an excellent choice. It's kind of how we talk about this Watcher, like how they make the main character seem like she's, you know, like not all there, but he right from the go, he was very alert of his surroundings, alert of
Oh,
his
yeah.
people. I knew what this film was gonna be as soon as I heard the word coat. I was like, oh, there we go. This is the type of film where I knew exactly what was about to happen, and that's because I have a very unhealthy obsession with watching real crime things on YouTube. So, and it's crazy how realistic. I don't think like this film is ridiculously realistic. 'Cause I
Oh,
watch a
yeah.
lot of these like shows and stuff like that happens more often than you would think. And I loved how this film was paced
Mm-hmm.
incredibly well, and I loved how they gave you bits and pieces of his past life with the chick with with the son and stuff like that, but they play it in like certain aspects, bro. What a film! What an absolute film, man! The
That final
progression.
shot, though.
I didn't know because you see him outside and he lights up and stuff like that. I didn't know what to make of it until like he goes out and you see that shot and everybody else in home has that red light. I was like, oh shit, man! And I love they did something I was not expecting. Damn, I forgot his name. The friend that was supposed to be there earlier, but he was missing. So it made it seem and he thought, oh, he got killed. And I'm like, oh yeah, he definitely got killed. He got there too early. He saw they were plotting, and they took him out. And no, it's not what happened. I love that little smart, gotcha moment to make you think like, oh, snap, is the main character really losing it? Like, is it all in his head? Absolutely. Playing, I think it's playing with somebody's paranoia is one of the best type of films that you could possibly do when done right, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
every element here was just fantastic, bro. Fantastic. And like, yeah, it was just set up perfectly, man. This film did not disappoint me. Like you just said, this film slapped hard. Indeed, indeed. I have the Blu-ray somewhere, man. But whew, what a film! What a film! Yeah, man. I got three more I gotta watch. I'm on a rampage. I'm catching up to these three horror. I can't even say classic because the horror community doesn't really talk about it. Maybe it's the ones I I don't follow. They don't really talk about them that often, but I got three more that I'm gonna watch one each before each podcast, and I'm gonna talk about it, man. This film did not disappoint me, bro. And Logan needs to have more roles. I don't know why he was in Upgrade, which was a fancy. Have you seen Upgrade?
Still haven't seen it. I need to watch that one.
Ooh, Upgrade is fire, bro. Absolute fire, bro. Yeah. So yeah, just love that film. And that's honestly all I watch recently.
That's it.
That's that and Nope.
You sure?
Mhm.
I swear you was talking about something.
That was probably God, the invitation.
All right. Well,
I don't think I
here I go.
watched.
Well, here I go with my slew of goddamn films. um, I'm not gonna go over all of this because what's today? Today is what, the 27th. Okay, so I'm just gonna do what I watched for the last week. Um, I watched the original House of Sorority Row in 82 movie.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, I've been watching 80s movies, man, and I'm starting to understand the era more. And I see why people love it, and I also see why I'm not a huge fan of the 80s.
Mhm.
It's because the 80s was ran by the majority, I wouldn't say majority, but the 80s had a ton of slasher movies that just was like watching repeats of like the Friday the 13th movies. Like, it's just, the plots don't make sense. It's really bad acting. Um, it's just like, yeah. But they're still great in the 80s, but it's just a lot of this is bogged down by movies like this that I didn't like at all. So watch that. Wanted to bring this back up because we had a conversation about it. We went back and forth about it. I rewatched Watcher after our conversation because it is one reason why I wanted to do watch it. Honestly, when I put the review out, I kind of was like, I don't know if I should put this out yet. I want to see what Philip thinks because I think I'm might be tripping, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mhm.
And rewatching it, man, I can definitely man have to admit that I was wrong about my initial thoughts about this movie, and I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's pretty much based on I said that you were talking about how when you were lining up, um, the plot points to how it led to the ending of the movie,
Mhm.
and like I said, I admittedly went into this film with a pen and pad, like kind of just trying to like, all right, what's wrong?
Right.
Where the issues at? So doing so, and it's crazy because I never fucking do that.
Mhm.
And I never do that, and for a specific reason that I'm not going to say here, but I just went in with that mindset, and there were things. And don't get me wrong, I still have stand by certain issues that I said
Mhm.
about the film, but they aren't concrete enough to make me not like the entirety of the film. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just missing certain plot points and getting there, I was like, oh man, I definitely was tripping about this because even the small issues that I still have, they don't take away from the overall aesthetic and experience of the movie. Like I said, it's a beautifully shot movie. It is gorgeous. Almost every single frame is like a painting, just like a gorgeous film. And I just really enjoy the ideology of like how you speaking about invitation about the paranoia.
Mhm.
I really enjoy how they play with her paranoia and just the morals that they throw around because it's kind of
Mhm.
like honestly, she put herself in this whole situation, and while some people may find that as a detriment, I feel like that was the purpose. It's like this is
Yeah.
what paranoia can do to you because through the conversations she's had with the killer, even showing up at his front door, just like, hey, I don't want no issues. And it's kind of, and you could take that either way. You could take that as him trying to throw her for a loop,
Mhm.
or him actually trying to resolve the issue because he don't want people on his ass. So he's like, look, I don't want the problems. And then later on in the conversation, he's like, I look around all the time and nobody ever sees me. but then you waved at me. And I thought you wanted to be friends until you brought a cop to my door and kept being on my ass about it. So it's like she was right that he is something's going on with him, but she put herself in that situation, and he was really going after victims that don't know he's there, and she ended up going into that situation and put herself in it. So I can go on, but I just like the themes that it presents, and yeah, watch her. I really enjoyed that movie, man. So I just had to come here and say I was wrong, and I admit it. Point period. Of course, Nope. I rewatched Midsummer.
Oh my god, that's one of those films, man. That I I still yeah I saw it exactly when it came out. Mind you, I never saw the director's cut, which I might because I heard it adds a little bit to the film. But bro, that's I don't know how the hell I feel about that film still to this day. I can't even tell you if it's a bad film or not, bro. It's an extremely polarizing film, and it's from the same director from Hereditary, but in this weird way, Hereditary plays so much more easier for me. Like I don't know if I'm twisted, but I could digest Hereditary better than I could Midsommar. Some of
Like
the
you fucked up.
imagery,
So
yo,
sorry.
some of the imagery from Midsommar, bro, is just talk about nightmare inducing, bro. Like the couple falling on the rocks, like oh my lord, bro.
Bro, I forgot there was a scene in there, bro, when the dude walks into the damn like I guess little house, and the dude is like strung up like a pig. He's like tied to like rope, and his back is exposed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, man, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
that
on?
movie. I'm not. I have no urge to watch it anytime soon. I just say that I'll watch the director cut because I'm curious. Because I think it's like with a whole like 30 minutes added to it or something of that
Yeah.
nature. Yeah, so I'm gonna check it out for sure. But yeah,
That's a Midsummer. I watched The Gray Man. You didn't see that, did you?
not yet.
You plan on watching it?
Rough team. I
Okay,
might pop it.
we'll return.
I might pop it in tonight before I see what I think of it.
I mean, I want to talk to you about that. We'll return to that once you see it. 'Cause since this is a new movie, I don't want to talk about it if you ain't seen it. Um, I watched Halloween H2O.
Mm.
That's my
Yeah.
shit, man. This movie called The Final Girls. I don't know if you've seen that before.
No, I never heard of it.
It's a slasher movie. Came out 2015, but it's about this girl who goes to this girl who has a mom who played in a like 80s slasher movie when she was younger, and her mom dies in a car accident, and then like days later she goes to to theaters to see that movie that her mom starred in, and she ends up getting pulled into that movie, and
Okay.
she got to kind of figure out. So she sees her mom again, so it's like this emotional connection, and she got to figure out who the killer is. It's a really interesting story. I think you should watch it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like a horror slash comedy, but it does have serious parts too.
I love those type of movies when done right.
Hmm. Um, Hell, another movie up that same alley for whatever reason. Maybe it's because summer's coming to a close, but I've been watching like a lot of summer camp movies. um, and this movie I told you about, You Might Be the Killer, where
Wait, what is it called?
I'm not saying shit about that movie. You Might Be the Killer. Remember, I posted them screenshots and you asked me what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when I watched. I ain't gonna say nothing about that because because I know you said you want to watch it, so I want you to go in blind. And then I just watched Friday the 13th Part 2 and Slumber Party Massacre, the new one that came out last year.
Okay.
And I've been on a horror binge, which should be no surprise to
I was
anybody.
about to
Come
say,
on.
when aren't you
Come
on a
on.
horror binge? Oh, that's
It's
hard.
July. It's
Oh, that's
July.
hard.
Wait, come on.
Is that one of the new ones?
Nah, I ain't even busted new ones out.
I never seen you rock that one.
Yeah, I don't really wear it that much. But yeah,
You,
Halloween too.
Gotta zoom out that camera. Yo, sure out that shirt. Come on
When we do a Saturday podcast,
now. Say less. Darian said, "Watch Trick or Treat." Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm 100% sure gonna watch it this year, but I'm gonna wait till closer to Halloween because I feel it's only right that I watch it
I
around
was gonna
Halloween.
say that. Definitely wait till October because it
Yep.
just it is literally the best Halloween movie outside of like
Really.
the franchise for me personally. Like it is so Halloween. I watch it a numbers of times before Halloween happens.
Agent says, "I can't believe that's all you watch. Usually we bring 50 movies."
That's only that those movies were only for a week, just to let you know. Like that ain't if I go through my whole Rolodex of what I watched this month, I'm probably about at 50. Be real.
Yeah, there's about to be an extended. It's gonna be the director's cut version of the podcast if we do that.
I mean, I watch movies though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I watched that one film and Nope, and yeah, man.
But
Now
you be
let's.
watching TV shows though, so that's a
Yeah,
different thing. You know what I
I
mean?
watch a TV shows, anime. I watch.
Oh,
It's a lot of other stuff that I watch in between. So like I try to
let me see.
shove as much information as possible, just in case I don't want to come off as a fraud and don't know what I'm talking about. So I try to watch a lot.
To answer your question, Agent, this year I've watched 266 films.
Yikes!
Yeah.
266 films. You know what's crazy? This year, last year, and the year before, I don't think I watched that much films combined. So, goddamn, bro, that's crazy.
Like I said, I'm a movie guy. I feel like if you just watch movies, it would be the same. Like I don't watch TV like at all. Like
So,
I don't watch TVs. Period. Like I still ain't watched The Boys. It just
bro, whew, yeah, I watch a lot of TV. Yeah. I just like to watch a lot of different other mediums instead of film because they're shot differently. The stories are told differently. You could get different perspectives from watching a TV show. I get much more different feel, vibe, and you know understanding than watching the film than I do watching the anime. It's all different, and I feel like yeah, it's gonna in the long run it's gonna pay off for me. It's gonna shape um, what I got planned in the future a
no,
lot.
that's understandable. Like I said, I think it's all about your goals and what you want to
Facts.
do.
Hmm.
Because personally, I'm a director and a writer, and I know what watching movies. I don't want to make TV shows at all. So watching films just for me is kind of like practice. Seeing so many different styles of movies from going from something from the '80s to something from the early 2000s to 2010s. It's just all like just research for me. Like, oh,
Yeah, a couple of
I
years
like
ago, I went
I like
on
that
this
concept.
weird age. I went on this weird binge when I would watch nothing but like 80s and 90s. Yo, film back then was incredible. Don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah,
incredible now. It's just some of the heavy hitters back then was
it's just different. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's
Because there's
replay.
things that you start noticing when you watch a lot of those movies. Like I think I'm starting to learn my director style and
Mhm.
kind of things that I like through watching a lot of films. I'm like, oh, I see. Like I'll watch a film
Mhm.
and then I'll watch the short films that I've made. And I'm like, oh, I see where I kind of got that from.
I was just
Like,
about to say that. Like it's very unconscious, like things that I pick
yeah,
up.
it's super unconscious. Where I'm like, like for instance, in my two shorts, I have a lot of long takes. I like doing
Mhm.
long takes, and one thing I noticed is a lot of older movies do more long takes, and it's because of the film reel. Because when you shoot on film, that shit is expensive. So a lot of directors aren't gonna sit there and be like, all right, well let's get a whole bunch of coverage, because it costs too damn much. So instead of getting a bunch of coverage, you might get a conversation, somebody walking into the room and talking to different people, and the camera's following them instead of it just doing a whole bunch of cuts.
Right.
And you know, growing up on '90s movies, '80s movies, I feel like that stuck with me personally. So um, it's just something I include unconsciously. So it just watching many movies just helps me kind of figure myself out, honestly. And I think that's my addiction to just watch them.
Yep, definitely. So, last part of the show, what have you listened to recently?
The Joey Badass 2000. I'm listening to that on um, Fire album. Fire album. Woman period. Start to finish. If you like Joey Badass, if you like 1999 Joey Badass, this is 100% for you. Because American Badass was kind of a different step in pace. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't dislike it, but it's not something that I return to because it was like a different version. But this is that Joey from that 1990s pro era Joey, and I love the album, man, start to finish. What about you? What are you listening to? Like, I be wondering, what do you listen to?
Well, I'm telling you, I've been slacking, bro. I barely listen, watch anything. Just been busy, and with other stuff as well. But yeah, Banks was last thing I listened to. The new Banks that came out.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
Cody too.
Ooh, I don't
Mean.
I don't understand Banks though. Why did he take that long ass hiatus if he could still and he's still capable of making shit like this, bro? He has not lost a step at all.
I would say he gained a step, honestly.
Yes, he's more zoned in, and he's not experimenting anymore. He knows exactly what his style is. Like it's bananas. What should we call it? Benny bodied it. That Benny track is tough,
I love
super
that shit,
tough.
man.
Yep. I feel like that album that Banks just dropped is what Benny was going for in his latest joint, but he fell as well. Banks, like, he crafted that sound perfectly, bro.
Man,
Don't,
Benny he's just not as nice as Banks. I mean, it is what it is. Like,
this is true. This is
like
true.
he's just not. Banks is like that album specifically made me put Banks in the god tier MCs because of the shit that he's doing. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah, I was hesitant when he first came back. I think it was like last year with part one of this. Because I'm like, I haven't heard Banks in a while. I don't know, if it's gonna sound like it's supposed to sound. Is this, because DMX came back and it sounded like he aged the one he dropped on that track. I was expecting the same thing for Banks, and not one bit. My only issues that I have is tonally, like, because he added the ladies joints. I didn't feel like it vibed or went well with the overall concept that he was going with. And this album, he had like 2, 3 joint shows directed for female audience, and it halted the tape a little bit for me. But besides that, man, slap. I only got to listen to it once. I wanted to listen to it 2 to 3 times before, but what can I say?
oh yeah, that shit fire.
It is fine, without a doubt, without a doubt. You gotta listen to
Man, ain't
Joe.
got shit but time. Just got the rollies done, and we only run when the
It was
police
a
come.
long line that he said, bro. I was like, God dang. You know that stink face when you listen to, whoo, bro.
I mean, pick a song.
That shit was done. Hey, man, listen. You got Conway the Machine. Yo, that
He killed that shit. Conway.
bodied that shit. Yeah, and I think that's it that I listened to. So I listened to one album and watched one movie besides Nope within that time frame, and it's probably, yeah. I got to step it up.
You always say that, but you really don't, though. I don't know why you be saying that.
Yeah, because besides Joey and Banks, there was nothing else that was intriguing for me to listen to. And movie wise, I was really hyper focused on the new releases, and besides Nope, nothing really came out. So
That's what I'm saying. Like you doing what you need to do to up your shit. That's what matters, man.
yeah, trying. Yeah,
Man,
man.
we all
Do you
right,
have?
man.
That's for sure. Do you have any closing statements before we head out for the night?
Nah, I ain't got nothing, man. It's on the East Coast. It's 11:30. Brothers is tired.
Word, 100%. Yep, and that is podcast number 35. Had a fire discussion, fire spoiler discussion about Nope. Jordan Peele, keep doing your thing because that film was incredible. Yeah, it exceeded expectations by far. Yeah, I'm excited for his new one. The sophomore slump was just that. He came right back with the third one, knocked it out of the park in my opinion. Comic Con was overall an extremely success in my opinion. Marvel shut it down. Uh,
Marvel Con.
Marvel Con shut it down. Uh, House of the Dragon trailer was epic. John Wick was also fire as well. DC was lacking, but still, the trailers I think both did. They did their jobs. They got me excited for both movies, and yeah, man, that's episode 35 in the bag. Let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Little change of pace. The real REEL Rap Nerd is the new name. Type that in. You can find me everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, my blog, YouTube, of course. And oh boy, I'm working. Yeah, you have no idea, man. Where they
Yes,
can
sir.
find you though.
Pretty simple. Film Fiends. Find me everywhere. TikTok, IG, Instagram, but really where you can really find me and should find me is on YouTube and cranking up videos trying to at least hopefully I'm connecting with the audience and you're liking what I have. I got a lot in store. The week's not over, so I'm gonna be dropping things on your head for the rest of the week. And yeah, man, that's it for the night. And Agent, you have a fantastic one like always. And what movie is that? The Haunt. What is that?
Ooh, The Haunt is the shit, man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it came out in 2019. It's a Halloween movie too, Halloween slasher. Um, he's pretty much this group of kids, college kids. They go to like one of them haunts that you can walk through and you're scared. They pretty much go to it and motherfuckers is taking it seriously. Like, and
Okay.
she gets real. I told him about that movie earlier, but I love that movie too. Such a great film.
Interesting. All right, might have to put that on my radar as well. But yep. Until next podcast, I'm Phil Fiends. That's the
Rap
Real
nerd.
Rap Nerd, and we are out. Peace.